Have you ever felt the sudden, stinging regret of opening that box too soon? Have you ever shared a secret, a goal, or a personal pain, only to feel a strange emptiness the moment the words left your lips? In our modern world, we are told that transparency is everything. We are encouraged to share every thought, every meal, and every ambition. But the ancient Stoics, the philosophers of the porch who mastered the art of the inner life, knew something we have forgotten. They knew that there is a profound power in silence. They understood that your words are like a currency. The more you spend them on things that should remain private, the less value you have left for yourself. Today, we are going to explore the 5 questions you must never answer, even to your friends. This is not about being secretive or deceptive. It is about protecting your inner citadel, that sacred space within you where your character is forged. By the end of this video, you will understand why guarding these 5 areas of your life is the ultimate act of Stoic wisdom, and how doing so will make you stronger, more focused, and truly free. The first question: what are you planning to do next? We begin with the trap of the future. Imagine you have a brilliant idea, a new business, a fitness goal, or a creative project. Your heart is racing with excitement. You meet a friend for coffee and they ask, "So what's next for you? What are your big plans?" Your instinct is to tell them everything. You want to see their eyes light up. You want the validation that your idea is good. But the Stoics, and particularly Seneca, would warn you against this. There is a psychological phenomenon known as social reality. When you announce your intentions to the world, your brain receives a hit of dopamine as if you have already achieved the goal. You feel the satisfaction of the finish line before you've even taken the first step. The Stoics believe that virtue lies in the doing, not the talking. Marcus Aurelius famously told himself to stop talking about what a good man should be and just be one. When you answer the question of your future plans, you leak the energy required to execute them. You trade the quiet, steady fire of discipline for the flashy, short-lived spark of social approval. Consider a real-life example. Think of a person who constantly posts about their new 30-day health journey on day 1. They spend hours replying to comments and basking in the praise of their commitment. By day 3, the excitement has vanished and the hard work begins. Because they've already received the psychological reward of being a healthy person through their words, they no longer have the hunger to do the actual work. Next time someone asks you about your future ambitions, try a Stoic response. Smile and say, "I'm working on a few things. I'll let the results speak for themselves when the time is right." Keep the fire of your ambition inside the furnace of your soul. Let it build pressure until it drives you to action. Silence is the fuel of the disciplined mind. The second question: what good deeds have you done lately? The second question is perhaps the most dangerous to your character, the question of your virtue. We live in an era of virtue signaling, where every act of kindness is recorded, filtered, and uploaded for the world to see. But the Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that the moment you seek an audience for your good deeds, you have lost the virtue of the act. Imagine you helped a stranger in need, or you gave a significant portion of your income to a cause you believe in. A friend notices you've been more frugal lately and asks, "Where has your money been going? Are you doing some kind of charity work?" The temptation to answer is immense. We want to be seen as good people. We want our friends to admire our selflessness. But Stoicism teaches us that virtue must be its own reward. If you do a good deed and then tell someone about it to get their approval, you haven't performed an act of kindness. You performed a transaction. You traded your money or time for a boost to your ego. True Stoic kindness is like a grapevine that bears fruit and asks for nothing in return. Does the sun ask for a thank you for its warmth? Does a mother ask for a medal for loving her child? They simply fulfill their nature. When you share your good deeds, you make them small. You make them about you rather than the act itself. By keeping your kindness a secret, you preserve its purity. It becomes a private bond between you and the universe. It builds a quiet, unshakable confidence within you that doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. When asked about your virtues, remain silent. Let your character be a mystery that people can only solve by watching how you live, not by hearing what you say. The third question: who has wronged you and what did they do? The third question concerns your grievances. We all have people in our lives who have let us down, betrayed us, or treated us unfairly. It is very common among friends to sit down and vent about these people. A friend might ask, "I heard you and your brother had a falling out. What did he do this time?" Opening this door is like inviting a poisonous fog into your house. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you recount the details of how you were wronged, you are reliving the injury. You are giving the person who hurt you a second chance to disturb your peace. Furthermore, when you answer this question, you are often seeking a jury to agree with you. You want your friend to say, "Wow, he was so wrong to do that." This creates a false sense of superiority and keeps you trapped in the role of the victim. Stoicism teaches the dichotomy of control. What other people do is outside of your control. How you respond is within your control. By refusing to speak about your grievances, you are exercising your power. You are saying, "That event is over. It has no place in my present conversation." Imagine two people who were both cheated in a business deal. The first person tells the story to everyone who will listen, growing angry and bitter every time they repeat it. The second person acknowledges the loss, learns the lesson, and never speaks of it again. Who is more free? Who has more power over their own mind? When someone asks you about a past hurt or a person who wronged you, you can simply say, "That's in the past now, and I've moved on. I'd rather focus on what's ahead." This isn't just being polite. It's a tactical maneuver to protect your mental clarity. We have covered the dangers of sharing our future plans, our virtues, and our grievances. But the Stoics had an even deeper insight, a secret regarding the very foundation of your identity and your inner peace. As we move into the final two questions, we are going to look at the parts of your soul that are the most vulnerable. If you have ever felt like you gave away too much of yourself to the wrong person, or if you feel like your value is constantly being measured by things that don't matter, these next 2 points are for you. The fourth question, what are your deepest fears and weaknesses? This is a controversial one. We are often told that vulnerability is strength. And while there is a place for honesty in a deep, committed partnership, the Stoic practices discernment. Not every friend is a philosopher, and not every ear is a safe harbor. When someone asks, "What are you most afraid of?" or "What is your biggest flaw?" they are asking for the blueprint to your inner citadel. Epictetus taught that we must be very careful about who we let into our inner world. Not because we are ashamed, but because our internal progress is fragile. If you share your deepest insecurities with someone who hasn't done the inner work themselves, they may unintentionally use that information against you. They might offer advice that is actually a projection of their own fears. They might look at you differently, seeing only your weakness rather than your striving for strength. In Stoicism, your weaknesses are the training ground for your character. They are your private battles. When you talk about them too much, you turn them into a story you tell about yourself. You start to identify with the weakness. "I'm just an anxious person," or "I've always struggled with my temper." Instead of answering these questions with a list of flaws, focus on your progress. If a friend asks about your struggles, you can say, "Like everyone, I'm working on mastering my reactions to life." It's a daily practice. This acknowledges the human condition without handing over the keys to your emotional well-being. Protect the intimacy of your self-improvement. Some battles must be fought in the silence of the night, with only your conscience as a witness. The fifth question, how much do you have and what do you want to buy? The final question concerns your material status and your desires. In our consumer-driven society, this is the most common topic of conversation. How much did that cost? What's your salary? What's your dream car? Seneca, who was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, but lived with the heart of a Stoic, understood that wealth is a preferred indifferent. It doesn't make you a better person, nor does it make you a worse one. However, talking about it, either through pride or through envy, is a distraction from the only thing that matters, your character. When you answer questions about your financial worth or your material desires, you are inviting comparison. If you have more than your friend, you risk sparking envy, which destroys friendship. If you have less, you risk feeling shame or a desire to keep up, which destroys your peace. The Stoic ideal is self-sufficiency. If you are constantly talking about what you want to buy or how much you have, You are signaling that your happiness depends on external things. You are telling the world that you are not yet free. Think of the real-life stress of lifestyle creep. When a group of friends only talks about the next big purchase or their latest raise, the pressure to conform becomes an invisible chain. But the person who remains silent about their finances is immune to this pressure. They can live in a palace or a hut with the same steady soul. When the conversation turns to money and possessions, the wise Stoic remains neutral. They don't brag and they don't complain. They treat money like a tool, useful but not worth a deep discussion. By keeping your material life private, you remind yourself and others that the most valuable things you own, your integrity, your wisdom, and your courage, cannot be bought, sold, or even described in words. Now that we have identified these 5 questions, how do we apply this in our daily lives without becoming cold or distant? Stoicism is not about being a robot. It's about being a master of your own energy. The first step is the 24-hour rule. Before you share a big piece of news, a new goal, or a personal grievance, wait 24 hours. Ask yourself, am I sharing this to get a reaction, or because it truly helps the person I'm talking to? Most of the time, the urge to share will fade, and you will find that the secret has become a source of internal strength. The second step is the filter of Marcus Aurelius. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? When someone asks you one of the 5 forbidden questions, you'll find that answering them is rarely necessary for the flourishing of the friendship. It's usually just noise. The third step is to focus on the other. When you stop talking about yourself, your plans, your deeds, and your hurts, you become a much better friend. You become a listener. You can use your words to encourage others, to discuss ideas, and to explore the wonders of the world, rather than the small details of your own ego. A powerful Stoic. Quote, as we reflect on the power of silence and the protection of the inner citadel, let us look to the words of Marcus Aurelius, who wrote in his Meditations, dig deep, within is the fountain of goodness, and it is always ready to bubble up if you just dig. This quote reminds us that everything we are looking for, validation, peace, strength, is already inside us. When we answer these 5 questions to the world, we are looking for the fountain in someone else's yard. We are trying to fill our cup from the opinions of others, but the fountain is within. By keeping these areas of your life private, you are digging that well deeper. You are allowing your own goodness to bubble up and sustain you, independent of the world's praise or criticism. As we finish this journey together, take a moment to breathe. Think about the wooden box you are carrying across the bridge. You don't have to open it for anyone. You don't have to justify your life, your progress, or your past to the world. There is a quiet dignity in the person who knows themselves so well that they no longer feel the need to be known by others. There is a profound freedom in having a private life, a garden of the soul where only you and the divine can walk. This week, try an experiment. Choose one of these 5 areas and commit to keeping it completely silent. Don't mention your new goal. Don't talk about your latest act of kindness. See how it feels. You might find that the leak in your energy begins to heal. You might find that you feel more solid, more centered, and more powerful than you ever did when you were sharing everything. The world will always be loud. It will always be asking you to reveal yourself. But remember, the wise man is a master of his silence, while the fool is a slave to his speech. Protect your inner world, build your citadel, and let your life be your only answer. If this reflection brought you value, perhaps you could share a thought in the comments, not about your plans or your deeds, but about what silence means to you in a noisy world. And if you wish to walk further on this Stoic path with us, consider subscribing to join our community of those seeking wisdom in a modern age. Until next time, remain steady, remain silent, and remain free.